she was lying by the pool, lying back drinking martinis, and I thought, wow, this girl has fucking made it. Here's me thinking I had made it, but she's running an international business in a few countries, and she's lying by her pool in Byron Bay, Mallorca, close to Byron Bay, supping martinis at 12:30 in the afternoon, and I thought, how the fuck did you do this? So let's ask her.
Okay.
Chris, how did you do this?
Okay. Right. Gosh, where do I start? So I start where I had a job in Sydney. Life was pretty sweet. My husband and I decided we'd move to Singapore just to kind of change things up. We're getting a bit stale. We moved to Singapore in 2007, and I have a marketing background, and I got to Singapore and I really couldn't work as a marketer and get paid what I wanted to be paid. So I ended up in publishing. I took a job in a publishing business, and it felt like a disaster at the time, but it was the perfect job to teach me all about publishing. I was only there for 6 months. It nearly killed me. Froggo, my husband, was like, you need to quit this job. You're horrible working at this place. And so I quit the job, and friends from Sydney approached me and said, come and join this startup. And we had a startup that created websites, and they were publishing websites in very niche, I suppose, sectors. So one was in medical careers, one was in Aboriginal art. And when I was with them, I said, I've got this idea for Singapore. Let's create a website and the concept originally was you would get an email from us daily telling you cool things to do in the city. And the concept came about because Singapore had a reputation of being a boring city. A lot of people still today think there's nothing to do in Singapore, it's really boring. And as a young expat, I was like 29 at the time, all my friends were like, God, wouldn't it be good if we were in Hong Kong as opposed to Singapore? So Singapore had this really bad reputation, but it actually has a heap of things to do and lots of cool things to discover. But the local expats weren't reading local press. I think at the time, Facebook was only just beginning. So this was 12 years ago. Instagram wasn't around. So you had no real source of content that could inspire you to go out and discover the islands off the coast of Singapore, or find the best place to get the best Indian curry, or where to find pop-up shops that were here for 1 week only. So that was the concept. So I created it, I wrote the content, I was a one-man band, I wrote it, I sold it, I put together my own media kit, I went out to clients and said, you should advertise on my platform. And back then people went, what do you mean advertise on your platform? What's a platform? Like, where's your magazine? Like, and then they also said, okay, I'll buy a banner ad, because advertising back then was ads in paper. Like, that's kind of what an ad was. And I was like, no, I'm not going to sell you a banner ad. I will sell you a written advertorial about your business. And they're like, whoa, what is that? You know? And I was like, basically I'd kind of studied what the trend was, and the trend that was happening in the States was, rather than sell someone a banner ad, which people just totally glaze over, write about their company and give them your take on what you like about this company or what's good about it. And you have to be careful with it, because you're putting your name to it. So you only want to write about stuff that's good, but it's almost like a brand endorsement. So it's a lot more powerful.
Who was the first? Do you remember the first one?
Oh, yeah.
Who was the first one that gave you the big tick and you thought, all right, I'm going to something here?
So my first ad I sold was $250. And I think there was 3 clients that came on board. One of them I became very good friends with, and she was a Danish girl. Her name's Benita.
It's not the woman I met over there. There's the markets, is it?
No, that's Charlotte. Charlotte advertised with me for many years. They're in the same circles, but Benita had a business selling eel handbags. So there you go.
Eel?
Yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of how it all started. And it just kind
So
of
you built the
snowballed.
business, you knew your model had to be based on people advertising to give you the revenue,
Yeah,
and then you had to create the content,
yeah,
which is today's modern world, that's very normal.
yeah,
But back when you started,
yeah,
it was not, as you said, people looking for a piece of paper
Yeah.
or a hardback,
Yeah.
a magazine.
yeah.
And then what happened then? What did it?
So I launched in
What years?
I launched in 2008.
So you had been there a year.
I had
Before you
been
kicked
there 2 years, I think, before I kicked it off. Yeah, I think that's right. Maybe a year and a half. So here was an interesting thing. I felt like I didn't put my name to it because I didn't think I could be an authority on things to do in Singapore. So I did it all anonymously, and the first time I emailed everyone, I didn't even sign it off, Chris. It was from my email address was "Be inspired" at the Honeycombers, and that was kind of like the tagline of what the business was all about. But yeah, and then after a while, I hired some writers to help me, and one of the writers said to me, "Why don't you put your name to this?" And I was like, "Well, because what do I know?"
Cool,
You know?
so you've backed yourself in so many stages, but you're like, I can't do that. Fucking right, you got to do it.
Yeah.
It's confidence, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah, it's imposter syndrome, really.
Yeah.
Like it's.
is it really me?
Yeah.
Who's Chris?
Yeah,
She's over there.
exactly. Imposter syndrome. Like, how can I be the authority? So what happened then? It's really a bit of a blur from then to, I suppose, when I left Singapore, because things happened really quickly. The business was growing very rapidly. We launched into Bali. We launched a spin-off for mums called Honey Kids. We launched into Hong Kong. I had 3 babies. Like, it was just like, ooh, crazy. I mean, there's definite things I look back on and I just don't even know how I did it. I have this really weird theory though. Whenever I'm tired, I just enjoy getting work done. And I don't know whether you've ever had this experience, but I'm very productive if I'm hungover, right? And I just reckon I was really tired from having babies. All the time. And the only way to kind of make myself feel good is write a really big list and just
Get shit done. So Dylan says what did you say you started doing? You were
I journal a lot.
journaling.
Yeah.
Journaling his days.
Yeah, right.
Experiences, everything. It's good documentation of it all, and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Very therapeutic, actually.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I'm a very functional person, so I want to get things done that I can deliver results on. So journaling feels for me a little like I've started to do a little bit recently. I just did a meditation course called 21 Days of Abundance with, can never say his name, Deepak Chopra. It was all through WhatsApp actually. But part of that was journaling about abundance mindset, which was fascinating to do. But it's the first time I've gone, I'm going to write for the sake of just writing. Because I've always gone, right, I'm going to write.
It's amazing when you start writing with it. Like some days I fucking wake up, I go up my days, and I think, what am I going to do today? Do you ever have those days?
No.
See, I have those days, me and Sally, sometimes, because we've built our business to a stage where it's managed. It's very managed, but it wasn't always like that.
Yeah.
We're so used to working fucking 7 days a week, 16 days. That's what we're used to.
Yeah.
The idea that we'd wake up on a Monday, we're like, all right, so what the fuck are we going to do? I said, let's go for coffee, we'll start there.
Yeah.
And then we'll see how the day goes.
Yeah.
But for me, that was my objective, was to get to that point.
Yeah.
Now I'm at that point, I'm kind of struggling with being at that point because I want to do more.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about new businesses, other ideas, innovation.
Yeah.
Because the management team we have within our business, they're good managers.
Yeah.
So everyone's responsible. So that's why Sally's doing other stuff.
Yeah.
And it's all the stuff that we wanted to do 4 or 5 years ago but couldn't do because we never had any time or any money to do it. So it's like we've got this abundance of time. It's like, all right, get the kids to school, and I've got to do something. Or maybe I'll go and do a school canteen. I thought there's no school canteen. All right, maybe I'll go and do.
So I was like this for the last 3 years. So when I moved back to Australia, the Honeycombers was under management, and I was just like, and this is how I ended up trying to find new businesses. But you know, really struggled with this concept of not being incredibly busy or having very clear focus on what I needed to achieve each day. And yeah, I found it really hard.
Challenging, isn't it?
Really challenging. So, COVID hit. Our revenues dropped 85%.
Yuck.
All of a sudden I'm challenged again, and it's really good.
So when that happened to you in those countries, was like it has in Australia, has the government stepped in to support the salaries of businesses affected?
Yes, not as much as the Australian government has stepped in. So the Singapore government has given some relief. They paid 75% of our Singapore staff salaries for 1 or 2 months. But the relief that the Australian government has given people and businesses here far better than what the Singapore government's given. Hong Kong, we haven't been able to get any relief, and Indonesia, no.
Nothing at all?
No.
That is amazing. That is something that we'll talk about for a while. Like Corona, no matter how much planning you could have put in your business mindset, you would never have planned for that. That was never a virus.
No.
It was never in my fucking thinking.
No, never.
And if it did take a few days off, go to the doctor, then they'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Not this, what we've kind of went through.
Yeah, and even now, like now we're seeing second wave in Australia, we're seeing third wave in Hong Kong. So Hong Kong's down to massive restrictions for people only in a restaurant. That kind of, is that right? Something like that. Anyway, everyone has to eat by 6 o'clock or some crazy stuff. We're not out of it, and we don't have an end in sight on when we're going to get out of it, and it could be 4 years, it could be 5 years, it could be 12 months, and I think the hardest thing for business right now is not knowing what that time frame is and being able to manage the business to survive.
I mean, for us and me, for me it's business as usual. My mind says, if this is going to be a thing, it's going to be a thing. It's going to be, it could be there forever. Could just,
yeah.
I mean, if these guys in Oxford or these people have vaccines, then that's wonderful. But I think the economy can't stop because of it. Everything has to move forward. We're a money-driven society. Economies have to move forward, and I personally, I don't know too much about it, but my opinion is it can't last much longer, and that could be 12 months. My much longer. International travel has to start again. Airlines and all these things have to happen. There'll probably be a jab, some sort of vaccine, and I'll be there to get my fucking jab for sure. But I think that will become part of our generation. That your mother and father, or my mother and father, they went through the end of the wars.
Yeah.
People before that was wars and famine.
Yeah.
So our generation, we've got this.
Yeah.
And I mean, I talk about Australia and Britain here, but there's been many parts of, say, Asia that have had these diseases that we've been sheltered from because it's never affected us, or we're all right.
Yeah.
It's just them.
Yeah. And
this time it's all of us.
It's really interesting to see how the different countries have reacted, because Hong Kong in particular, they were like, don't worry, we've had this before. We know we've had SARS, we've had bird flu, we know what to do, we can handle it. There was no panic at all. And they did manage it until, recently, when now it's gotten kind of crazy again now. But there wasn't as much panic, I think, because they have had so many of these kind of scenarios in the past. And Singapore had it really under control initially, but then Singapore's dirty little secret kind of.
What was that?
So Singapore has a large population of migrant workers that live in dorms of up to 100 people in a room where they sleep, and so they couldn't contain the virus in these dorms because people don't have much personal space, and so it just went crazy, And what I find really interesting is Singapore is a very controlled country. People have a lot of respect for the government. People are, I would say, a little bit fearful of the government. And so people are going to do the right things. Now, there's no risk of people not taking this seriously, but because of the way Singapore has these migrant working communities, but not many people know about. Like I lived there for 11 years.
I saw them in the back of trucks when I thought, how are they allowed to sit in the back of a truck? Because they wouldn't be allowed here. Everyone else in the car, and you see like a minibus.
Yeah.
A ute filled with fucking.
Yeah, it's
people,
an unusual.
Indian people.
Yeah, or probably
Pakistani, Indian, Nepali.
Yeah.
So they've all been cramped in there, and then that has just fucking went crazy.
Yeah.
Through those places.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's something we've been talking about for a long time.
Yes.
It's a crazy one. It's a weird one because everyone's got an opinion, and I mean I have no right to have an opinion because I don't know nothing about bacterial virus or whatever. I got no fucking idea. I can just observe what my mind says about it, where I've kind of looked for information, and I've kind of looked around different countries. Went to Al Jazeera, went to the WHO, not the WHO. There's a website that tells you all the indicators.
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called. But then I've kind of switched off from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because to sit and listen to that, I'm going to call it drivel, every fucking day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's just too much. It's just there's other things to talk about. It doesn't need this amount of feeds on your fucking internet thing. It doesn't need all that sort of stuff. It needs to come out as a normal news bulletin, whether it's hourly, what it's going to be, and say this is it, whatever. But I think countries like our countries, and first world countries, are going to struggle to deal with it because we're not used to being told what to do. Somebody says, stay at home, you can't do this, you're like, fuck off now.
Well, and that's the real risk, is not the first wave, it's the second wave and the third wave, where people are just like, even the thought of homeschooling, like...
Oh, that killed everyone's dream of homeschooling. That's when the reality bubble burst. Oh, we all want to homeschool our kids, do you? Well, here's fucking 3 months of it, give it a crack. Send them back to school.
You could send the twins to preschool?
No. See, that closed it. So what happened for us was, I was supposed to fly to America on the 4th of March to go to a trade show called Expo West. A trade show I had been wanting to go to for fucking years but could never really afford it at the time to get there.
Yeah.
So this time we had planned it. I was going, Rory from marketing was going, mate Simon was coming, we had booked a nice house, we'd set up all our meetings with all the buyers over there. And 2 or 3 days towards it, I started looking, I always check my news feed just to see, just touch in, and it was up with this stuff, this corona, and it popped up in Orange County, and popped up California, popped up here, popped up there, and it got right down to the very last day, the day before we left. I just said, I'm not going. I'm not going. So I pulled up, and I said to the staff that were going, I said, if you want to pull up, just don't go. And they went, no, we're fine. So Rory went, Simon went, my mate Dan went. So they kept the house over there, they went there and they did it. When they arrived, they cancelled the event. It got that big because it was all international buyers. So they cancelled that event. Then, because I met a mate, Joel the doctor.
Oh yeah, Joel.
I called Joel up for his advice, and he says, mate, he says, I wouldn't be worried so much about the virus. He said, but what I would be worried about is getting back home.
Yeah.
He goes, now if you went to America and something does happen and they lock you're stuck in the country. I thought that's enough for me.
That's great advice, isn't it? Because that's exactly the risk.
Yeah.
And that actually, that's
And you know the worst part? I have a mate who's involved with the Qantas and he flies that route all the time. And he always said, I've played soccer, he goes, Scotty, when you fly, you just call me and I'll make sure that you get upgraded to business. So this time I had paid posh, or slightly posh, I paid for premium economy, just in case. And he said, don't worry, my mate's on that flight, they'll move you up. So I had everything lined up to go and get my first business class flight to America. I've been to fucking America and go to this event that I've wanted to go to see all this great stuff. And I pulled out and I didn't go, and I had FOMO for a day or two until I seen it unfold, and I thought, oh, thank fuck I didn't go. So straight away Sally pulled the kids out of school because she didn't know what was happening. So we pulled the kids out of school 2 weeks before the government said do it.
Wow.
So we had the kids at home. Where we lived, we had a bit of space like you, so it was all right. They could run around, and we were just stuck. She wanted no visitors, no one. We would drive to the Clunes General Store. It's a cute little shop that's got good wine, good cheese, good food in the middle of fucking nowhere. And we did that for 10, 12 weeks.
Oh,
6 weeks in is when it really started to.
right.
I thought, come on, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Because business, we were still in business.
Yeah.
So what we had to do in our business, we had to separate the staff shifts. So normally a shift would go from like 6 to 2 and 2
Yes,
to 9.
yes,
whatever.
yeah.
We had to separate them by half an hour,
Yeah.
just so no that shift couldn't meet that
Yes.
shift. We had to do temperature checks downstairs.
Yeah.
This is things that we took on board, not
Yeah.
because the government told us
Yeah.
you should do
Yeah.
it. And then I had a cleaning specialist come in, a mate of mine, and he cleaned everything every day for 2 hours. Phones, mouses, tablecloths, drawers, everything that gets touched every day but doesn't normally get cleaned. And he did that every day for,
Wow.
for 2 hours every day, because we didn't know how to cope with it
Yeah.
whenever anything arrived. Because I've done research, it says
Yeah.
it lives on cardboard for
Yes.
24 hours,
Yes.
metal for fucking 72
Yeah.
hours. So anything that came in, the guys had like fucking,
Yeah.
we spent absolutely everything. Just because we just cannot, we were busy,
Yeah.
we can't.
Can't be
deal
shut
with it.
down. Yeah.
And it's busy and fearful at the same time, driven by fear. The fear of not knowing that this is an invisible thing that we don't really know. And it's funny because you start to distance yourself when you cross the street from people, or someone sneezes, which normally is not an issue. You know, oh, he's sneezing.
You know, the brilliant thing out of all of this is that, I don't know if you've seen this, but the amount of colds and flus and everything has gone down dramatically because people are just keeping their distance from each other. So actually even the common cold is not being transmitted like it has been last winter. So, you know, I think this social distancing that, you know,
It's good.
It's not all bad. It's not all bad.
I was thinking about like you in like Singapore, or say Hong Kong, because when I was there, it's like, it's a little fucking island with a lot of people. So, and then we had the luxury like, in Australia where most of us, when you'd have to like be locked up at home, you can still open your backyard
Yeah.
or your front door to your lawn, wherever.
Yeah.
I thought about those people in the fucking, these big, that were great before coronavirus because you had a fantastic view of the fucking city,
Yeah.
but then being told to stay there for 3 months.
Yeah, and they can't even use the communal swimming pool. I've got mates with kids stuck in an apartment for weeks, and you're not even allowed to leave the house in pairs. You know, that the restrictions were so strict over there. And yeah, it's really challenging on a mental front, I think, for, and it's been hard for us. I mean, our office is still closed. Our office has been closed for 3 months now. Everyone's working from home. Lots of people don't have home offices, so they're working from their bedrooms. Like, it's hard going. It's really tough.
On a more positive note,
Yeah.
what's next for
Let's talk
Chris
positive.
Edwards and the Honey Crew?
The Honey Crew. So we
Where's your pot of gold?
Well, we are in the process of launching a new business called Digital Collective, which is a...
Here or there?
Yeah, well, it's a
Anywhere.
global business, but we're starting with... It's really funny, actually. We're starting with everywhere because the team I'm working with on Digital Collective are based in Bali, Hong Kong, and Singapore. So, and myself here. So there's 4 people in 4 different countries working on this new business.
That's global.
That's global.
Yep.
We're launching global. But basically, it's a strategic marketing agency. So helping people with marketing strategy and using our core skills of honeycombers to help people with their marketing, digital marketing. So with a big focus on content. So that's...
So is this for existing brands or new brands, businesses?
It's for existing
What?
businesses. Yeah. So really we're looking at our clients, our honeycombers, and thinking we can help you attract your audience. That's what we normally do. So if you think about the consumer journey, you know, at first you've got your group that don't know you, and you've got to reach out and go, hey, I'm Farmer Joe, you should try our muesli. And then you basically get to engage with them. So you somehow talk to them, whether it's through email or through an event or through product sampling, however, you talk to them. And then you basically need to nurture them into becoming a customer. So how do you do that? And the best and most effective way is to do it through content marketing. So that's kind of our new business that's our COVID baby, our COVID love baby.
Good stuff came out of it. We, as a business, took the time to innovate.
Yeah. What are you guys doing?
We're doing granola spreads.
Yes.
So your favourite farm was your granola.
Great.
Into a spread like a Nutella consistency.
Love it.
Spread on toast, put in a
Yum.
smoothie.
Yes.
We launched the kids' chocolate puffs, so our competitor to Cocoa Pops.
Great.
Low sugar, high fibre, whole grain foods, tasty.
Great.
Made with cacao and carob,
Yep.
coconut sugar.
Nice.
We launched that. We're launching breakfast biscuits, like
Oh yeah,
either
great.
paleo
Great.
or oat based. So something that you're
Great for
happy
the
to
airline
get.
industry when they back up.
And even good for you if you're at your desk. Or
Yes.
you want to stick something in the kids' lunchbox.
Yes.
It's tasty enough, it's nutritional enough.
Yeah.
It is going to be sweet, but it's going to be a good trace of good sugars combined with good fibres, good carbohydrates, good proteins and good fats
Yeah.
in a nice little simple biscuit.
Yeah. Great.
Like a posh Belvita. So Belvita sell a breakfast biscuit,
Yeah.
but it's just fucking shit. It's not what I want to feed my kids. And I think, you know, for $5,
Yeah.
I think a packet, I think I can get close to that price
Yeah.
and give the customer a whole lot more,
Yeah.
a
Great.
whole lot less. So we did a lot of that sort of stuff during this time.
Yeah.
As well as making a few changes in our business. But just, I do believe a lot of good stuff came out of this.
Yeah.
We started to question, like most of our staff, don't come to the office anymore.
Yes.
Marketing doesn't come, sales comes now and again, accounts don't come in the office.
Yeah. This all plays out. You know, I don't think we're going to have an
I'm not
office.
going to change it. I'm going to get rid of it. It's going to go.
Yeah.
This office
Yeah.
will go.
I think we'll do the same. I
A bit
think.
smaller and
Yeah.
smarter.
Yeah,
Instead of
exactly. More
bigger and-
flexible. Yeah, absolutely. And I think because we're not back yet, but I think when we come back, we'll be like, who wants, like what you've done, who wants to come back? Who wants to work from home? As long as and the other brilliant thing about COVID is me getting involved in my business overseas now feels more natural because everyone's on a screen, everyone's on a Zoom call. It's not just Chris in Australia and everyone's in Singapore. It's everyone's on their screens having a chat.
Whoever owns Zoom probably created COVID.
Possibly.
Who owns Zoom? Who owns that fucking
Possibly.
company Zoom? Dylan?
Probably Bill Gates.
No, it's not Bill Gates, but there was a really funny story about the share price of a company that people thought owned Zoom, and it was called Zoom or something like that. And
Probably
the share
not.
price went
Yeah.
through the roof because people thought they owned
Yeah.
Zoom, but they got it mistaken.
It's a good. I was trying
It's
to do
Eric Yon.
Eric Young.
Yeah.
Where does he live?
He's
In
made
China.
he's made nearly $4 billion
Oh,
in three months as usage.
It
of
wasn't from
video
that province where it all started, was it?
It's skyrocketed amid the coronavirus.
Yeah,
So
There you
4 billion in the past 3 months.
yeah,
Fucking hell.
yeah. There you go. He's to blame.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting with COVID too, how COVID has affected so many businesses so differently? Like some people have boomed. So our home decor, furniture, Temple and Webster price is through the roof. They sell, affordable furniture online. So some businesses are really
Yeah.
booming and other businesses are just,
I was shocked at how volatile big companies are, like Virgin and Qantas.
yeah.
I was shocked because they report these massive numbers. Oh, shareholders made fucking 10 billion this week, but then 3 weeks of non-flying, they're letting go fucking 50,000 staff.
Yeah. What about the big mistake that the Australian government made on their numbers?
Oh, 60 billion.
$60 billion
How can
mistake.
you be so fucking wrong?
But hey, you know what this really makes me feel great because, going back to the imposter syndrome, I meet people who are successful and sometimes sounds awful, but I remember going to this networking night and this girl spoke about business and how good it was, but she wasn't very smart. And I thought, you know what? You actually don't need to be smart to run a
No.
company. You need a good idea,
Yeah.
you need good
You
timing,
gotta do it.
and to be action
Yeah.
orientated.
So-
That's
So,
it.
People will come up with these, like on LinkedIn, they get fucking multiple emails. The formula for success. There is no fucking formula for success. There's a formula for doing something, and if you do it right and it connects with the market, it works.
Yeah.
That success is like. I had so many fucking emails from these consultants and strategists, and just fuck me, man. It was constant on LinkedIn. Do you get it on LinkedIn? Are you on LinkedIn?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn.
Don't you get bombarded with these people coming out and want to help you?
Coaches, yeah,
Oh,
coaches, yeah.
I think that's a great business. I'll sit and chat to you, charge you fucking some crazy figure, and then good luck. You're going to apply it. But you know,
Well, but you know what, Scott? It is a good business, but I do also think the help you can give someone through coaching and the benefit you can get from coaching, you know, can be very cheap for the impact it can have on your business, right? So I do actually believe in the power of coaches, and I think people should use them more, because I do think, you know, if you think about it, it's the timing, it's the idea, and the execution. Like there is a kind of simple formula that people don't always understand or see.
this is what's that company called again? You're starting up?
Digital Collective.
This is Digital Collective talking to me now.
No, not
No, but
necessarily.
you know, see how I respond to that is not what you're saying.
Yeah.
The people connected with me. I thought, because they send these. It's like you accept a connection, and automatically there's like a pre-scripted fucking email that lands in your box. Tell me how I can
Double your sales in 2 weeks.
tell myself to get my time back, get my hours back, get my old stuff. And I think, you don't know my business.
Yeah.
Your granularization has just disconnected me because I already have that.
Yeah.
So if you're going to give me something, personalise it.
Yeah.
These generic fucking automatic responses that when somebody is probably advertising whatever it is, it's not relevant to someone like me, because it's not someone personally writing me a note that says, "Hi Scott, and I've seen you guys do X, Y, and Z." It's regular people saying, "We can build your SEO, we can build your social media, we can build your strategy, we'll look at your time management." And it's like, you don't know nothing about this business,
Yeah.
and if you did know, you would know I don't need those things.
Yeah.
So you probably have something in there that I do need, but you generalise too much with the general stuff that you've disconnected from me, and I just delete, and I just delete, and I just delete, and I just delete, and I just delete. Somebody that connects with me is somebody that gives me something personal. You know, if they wrote something personally to me with a thought-provoking statement, then I don't delete those ones, because I thought, all right, let me just try to understand why they said that.
Yeah.
And what am I not saying? Me and Sally always have a chat. We say, I talk about this business. If I was brought in as a consultant, what would I do? And I have a raft of things I would do. But while I'm in the business, we're in the business, me and Sally, we're only prepared to do so much within the business. And I thought, imagine the stage that maybe when we were kids, if we still had this business at that time, and the kids come in, imagine what they're going to see that we can't see. Like, imagine what Dylan sees that I can't see. He's 19 years old. His world is different to my world. And it's like, if you allow these young dudes to have ownership, I think they can see, because we all think, oh, I can see the world. You can't. You can see, I can see 42,
Everyone's got their own perspective,
42-year-old eyes.
Yeah.
I don't see what he sees. So spending time with someone like Dylan and his young crew is like, you see a different world. I don't like the way they leave the socks lying around the house and don't clean the toilet basin or flush the toilet pan. I don't agree with that. but I can connect with it.
Dylan, we're learning a lot about your toileting habits.
Hang on, I got the picture. That's not something I'm now doing for my kids. They don't fucking they shit in the fucking pan. But it's just like stuff you do when you're 19. You know, like you're younger. But as you get older, it's like the simple things like if someone comes into my living space, and you probably get this, you create your home, right?
Yeah.
And let's say a friend comes to sleep over, and they leave their shoes in a place where you don't normally allow your kids to leave their shoes.
Yes.
You probably let it go.
Yeah.
For a day. Maybe a day. If it's on a second day, you start to feel bad about telling them, can you move your shoes to somewhere else? And if that person's there for more than like 2 days, you start to really get the shits over something as simple about those shoes. Can't you see that's the fucking shoe spot over there? That's not a shoe spot. What makes it? So you start to have this kind of stuff because you've formed opinions and beliefs and things. So you've created your things over the years you've been alive.
Yes.
Your tolerance is a lot lower.
Yes.
Whereas when you're 19 and 20, you don't really give a fuck.
No.
You know, a house is a place to go to sleep, have a wash and go out again.
Yeah.
So it's like those sort of things. So I'm aware of my difference at that part.
Yeah.
So when I'm in like business parts of it, I would rather talk to young people about what they're up to, what they're doing. I've even started listening to Triple J, next 6 part one.
So Triple J is not young anymore. I don't reckon. No.
Do you listen to Triple J?
No.
So I was listen to Triple J and I've listened to it for 20 years. I reckon the average age of the Triple J
Her
listens
nanny's
is
a
40.
she's got me in
I
Triple J.
don't reckon like a lot of like my generation really listen
Listen
to
to the
radio.
radio.
We
They're
more
on
so just
Spotify.
like have an auxiliary cord and listen to like Spotify or Apple Music and just create our own music we want to listen to.
But that music, that genre of that music, would Triple J play that music?
It's more like alternate stuff. Like there's different types of people,
Yeah.
and Triple J like attracts, I guess, a younger crowd.
You know that young dude you interviewed the other day, Mackenzie?
Mackenzie,
The guy from the Gold Coast, the surfer?
the surfer, Bowden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met his old man and his brother the other day.
Oh
They're
really?
doing my crazy paving for the back of the pool at the house.
Yeah.
I showed them a picture of you because I thought you two looked the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Dylan. He done a video for Mackenzie the other day. Or met you at some life cycle.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, they're all. If you look in Dylan's thing, it's all guys like him with their tops off. So if you like that look, 6 packs and fucking surfer dudes all naked, that's Dylan's temple.
Righto.
He could be the face of honeysuckle.
Honeycombers.
Honeycomb. What did I keep saying suckle?
I know.
How long are we in, Dylan?
We are at 40 minutes.
Fucking hell.
Is that too long?
No, it's good. We could have kept going, I'm sure, because we probably should wrap it up about now because normally for us it goes till about 40, 45
Yeah.
before we kind of fizzle
Right.
to nothing, but we're still going at 45. At this stage, we normally give Dylan the chance, because we always say, Dylan, go and throw us a question. And it's directed at you.
Right. Dylan, have you got a question?
Yes. So what's the weirdest thing you do every day that you don't really tell anyone?
The weirdest thing I do
Yeah.
every day. Wow, that's a tricky question.
It's probably normal to you.
Normal to me. I'm not really a routine person. Okay. So I have 3 kids, and I suppose it's not that weird, but they all will usually come into bed in the morning. That's probably the only consistent thing I do every day. And now I'm embarrassed. But I'm going red. So my son, who's 8, he just very affectionate. So I rub his back or rub him somewhere every day. That's probably my weirdest thing I do.
It's beautiful. Giving them a massage.
That's caring and
That's
kind.
caring.
Yeah, and you know what? I went out last night and my kids, I've been working really hard recently. I said to them in the morning, did you notice I wasn't home? And they're like, no, we thought you were in your office. And so I need that time in the morning with my kids.
Sally does it. The twins come in and they jump on her back. They say, can you rub my back? I thought, I'll try it one day. Can you rub my back? But I get distracted. You know. What's your youngest boy's name?
Darcy,
He's cool. He's like a little dude.
yeah,
He's like an old man in a young man's body. I want to put like a cap on him.
Yeah.
Get my pipe
yeah.
and a fishing rod.
So he's
And a
just started
tweed jacket.
playing soccer. He's 5, so he started playing soccer, and he's just so great to watch on the field because he really gets it. And I think because he's got older brothers and sisters, he really understands the point of the game, and it's all about scoring goals. And so we went to training yesterday, and he came home. I scored 7 goals in training, and the other kids who are 5 are like, kind of playing with the grass or watching the aeroplane go past. Or meanwhile, Darcy is scoring goals and then doing the full, kind of cheers anyway. So I'm really looking forward to seeing.
What team is he playing for, Mum?
Playing for Mum.
Is Frogger his coach?
No, Froggy's not his coach. No.
Huh?
So we've got Evie playing for Byron, and the boys playing for Mum. But Byron is very well organised compared to Mum.
Compared to Mum. I was trying to get my kids into it because they're at Bangalore, but they're not quite into it. I think they've got to find some kids that are into it.
Soccer?
And then maybe they'll get into it, yeah. Oh, I watch it with them every day. That's my thing. I just love fucking football.
I have to get them over again. We play a lot of soccer at our house. That little green square,
Huh?
that is the sort. So I said to Frog, I want to put some plants in there. No. The goals are either end, and that is just
Just football.
Football. football pitch.
Football.
Yeah, yeah.
I like it. I think next time we might need to do a part 2 at Chris's place, and we'll all get a float and run the pool. She lives in a proper mansion.
Get a photo shoot going.
Because we done a podcast with Anthony from Comedy,
Yeah,
but we had to stop. So we'll do a part 2.
yeah.
Because we just kept talking, and he said, let's do part 2, we'll do like electric bikes, and we'll cycle the world like Brunswick,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
do something active like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And when we done Julian from Life Cycle, we were going to go for a walk through they get like a forest, bit of land where they live.
Right.
Garden of Eden.
Garden again.
Right.
Garden of mushrooms. Do you take mushrooms?
Yes, life cycle, right. Yes.
Are you into your mushrooms?
I love mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The legal ones or the illegal ones?
Take them all.
Take them all, huh?
No,
Dylan,
okay.
Dylan can sort you out. He's like a mushroom dealer.
Good to know. Everyone's got
Him
to
and
have
Julian.
everyone's got to have their mushroom deal, all right?
Any last words?
Any
If you get to Singapore, whenever you get to Singapore, or Hong Kong, or Indonesia, or Bali,
Bali.
Tell them-
Bali's the one that Australians most use, I think.
tell them Chris sent you.
Go and have a look at honeycombers.com, thehoneycombers.com.
Yeah. We'll cut that from the website and stick it up there, we will.
Good.
Dylan does a little bit of funky editing.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Give us a yell.
Come on, Chris, get in with it.